Hey Luke, how you going?
Hey Adrian, good. How are you?
Good. I thought I'd talk you through the new Tempo downwind race stuff that we've got. Got one in here.
Beautiful.
This is kind of the smallest one. It has the size on it there is 890 span. It's a 60. They're all 16 aspect in the Tempo, and it's like a 495 area. The rear on this one is 25 mil, and this is what the twins and Kai Thompson were riding in the Maui Race Series racing. Really fast setup. We actually had quite a few guys in the racing, and like in the top 20, we had sort of like 9 riders on the Tempo. So I've improved it a little bit more since that event. We've changed the layup and the wings and made them much stiffer. Like you can barely bend the tip and the wing there. So a big deal with when you get to 16 aspect ratio is making, the wing is not very thick through here. So actually getting it so it doesn't break and getting it so it's stiff enough so it's not all just wandering around is a big deal. The other thing is when you're getting into this higher aspect, you need to have a really thin, narrow fuselage system. If you've got a bulky, fat carbon fuselage system, there's just kind of no way that you're going to get a 16 aspect wing to perform without having a thinner, finer fuselage. So pretty sleek system.
How does that whole thing come together?
So,
is it something new that you guys just recently developed?
Yeah, we've been working on it it's taken about a year to get this through. This is the titanium chunk for the middle of it and some of the details of it. This is the grub screws. These go in from the outside. You slide your wing on and then put the grub screws in. It has a center screw in there, and underneath that screw it has a urethane spring, if you like, and this is a stainless steel top plate. So the spring pulls this top plate downwards. You slide the wing on, put the grub screws in, and you can see when you tighten this up, you can see that this opens. So this is an expansion plate. So as you tighten this up, you can see that widens so it tightens from the inside.
Oh, whoa.
So that expands and fills the gap inside the hole.
Okay.
The shape of that, this one's for the front wing, and it's got this shape to try and lock it on there. You can see it's also basically parallel and parallel. You don't really want to taper. If you've got a taper, it wants to work its way off.
Yeah.
And similar system for the rear, but it's only got one screw, and that just clamps on for there. So you can see on this one, they're mostly a dedicated rear and fuselage that just fits onto there. But we've also made an aluminium piece, and it has the same shape, and that just fits onto there, but it has our normal rear on it, so you can use all of your existing rears. We've got a range of downwind wings from 1090 span down to 890. They're primarily designed for downwind, but that doesn't mean that they're not good for a whole lot of other things. Really applicable for parawing and also for winging. I use the 1090 a lot for winging and basically just going upwind, popping on a swell and surfing off downwind.
Okay.
Work great for that. Very, being 16 aspect ratio, very low drag. Super easy to use. Like I've had a lot of guys riding them that are not necessarily that advanced, and they actually find it no harder than the Fireball to use, but
Really?
much faster.
Yeah.
So not only for the full-on races, but for everybody in between as well.
Okay. And maneuverability, how'd you manage that?
Well, a big deal with this is as they get more and more high aspect, is actually retaining some cord in the middle here so that it's really well attached, and then making the tips narrower. And whenever you make the tips narrower and wider in here, you actually reduce, it's called the second moment of area for roll. So it allows the wing to turn from side to side really nicely. So that's actually a really nice surf wing, which is not what you would imagine it to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I mean, it's a high-speed surfing. It's not
sure.
carving in the pocket, but
Yeah.
for super high-speed gliding, it's a great fun wing to have.
Oh, beautiful.
So,
what else do you guys have new for this year?
the other thing that's probably worth showing you is the foil drive pocket board. I'll just take this off for now. So this is a trench board, but it's covered at the front here. So you slide it back, lift it out. You can dry your whole unit, change the battery over, and then you poke it back in there. So your battery goes right in underneath here. So when that goes in, you've got big sliders there. The sliders are one piece, so they're really easy to just drop in and line up. And then it just slides in and then you nip it up. You've still got some adjustment fore and aft, but it's designed primarily to be ridden there.
Oh.
Really lightweight, and you can see there's no water flow. A lot of the trench boards, they've left a really big gap so that you can undo the side buckle. And this is uncovered and it ends up going right up to here because you have to be able to lift the battery off and the cover off.
Yeah.
So this is super, super clean and nice finish and that easy
to
get it off. On top of that, it's really light. That board, I think it's only about 3.5, it's under 4 kg. It's lighter than any of the other trench boards that are here. And all of this is fiberglass. The boxes are made of fiberglass and the board here is fiberglass. On the other side, this whole area under the EVA is fiberglass and this is fiberglass as well. The reason being so the signal can get in and out of here. So we haven't been using this board with any foam in the tracks and it's got a 100% perfect signal. So lightweight, really nice shape. Pocket trench.
Well done.
So another thing I wanted to cover over was the dock start pump wings. This is a 1750 span wing. We've been playing with variations of this for quite a few years now, and everyone's sort of been saying, hurry up, release it. Why aren't you releasing it? But with the higher span wings, you get your glide from higher span wings, but you also add drag. So we kept experimenting, and this particular one here, this is a 1750 span. The aspect ratio is over 20, and the area is about 1,500 squares for it. So very, very efficient glider. But to make this work, you actually need to have a really serious connection between your mast and your fuselage. This is a new mast that we've developed, and it's called a fatty mast and a fatty fuselage. Comes in an 800 and a 900, and it was designed primarily for driving a wing like this. So the forces that you have on this setup, you need a really, really stiff mast. This mast here, it's 800 long, and if you're comparing it to the aluminium, the power carbon high modulus, and the ultra, if you have the mast and you put 25 kg side load on the end of the mast and bend it, the aluminium, 19 mil aluminium, bends about 38 mil, the power carbon about 29 mil, the high modulus 22 mil, the ultra about 19 mil. This one's 11.7. So it's another league of stiffness. Now, that's achieved mainly through the thickness. It's 18.1 millimeters thick. But because it's thick, we don't have to build it out of ridiculously high modulus carbon, so the mast is actually not that expensive. It has a new fuselage system, which is also a fatty, and it's got a wider, thicker doodad so that that mast can fit straight into it. The bolts are spaced further apart to help with the pitching when you're doing the pumping. And it's designed, again, primarily for dock start pump, but I think the biggest market for this whole fatty mast system will be with heavier riders with bigger span wings. It'll give them a level of control that they've never experienced with.
I can imagine.
With winging. Now, we've also got a smaller version of the 1750, and this one's 1500. This one's 17 aspect ratio. This is the one that Nico Itan recently set a world record on. So he dock start pumped this wing for 1 hour, and in 1 hour he covered 20.12 kilometers. So he's averaging 20.12 for an hour.
Wow.
On that. So ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of dock start wings, there's no way you can even go that fast, but he's averaged that for 1 hour.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah. The wing itself, this is made of ultra high modulus carbon, and that is because it's very, very thin, and you can see, like, I can barely bend the end of that wing. It's very, very thin through there. So
I almost think that thing would just snap off. It's so thin.
Well, you like getting that to be really strong.
Yeah.
Took quite a bit of working out because it's very, there's not a lot of thickness left in there.
Oh yeah.
It's also a new board. We've had the 999 out for a while. This is an 899, so it's a much smaller version of the same thing. So really cool dock start setup.
Very nice, Adrian. Hey, thanks for sharing.
Cheers, Luke. Hey, Luke.
Hey, Adrian.
I was going to tell you a bit of a story about this new downwind mast. So for the Maui race series, I was there for 2.5 weeks, and we had a bunch of team riders riding the tempos and working out everything. And during that process, we kind of realized that, you know, the fuselage was working well, the front wing, back wing, we're totally happy with our race setup. We kind of noticed that with the reduced drag and all of that system, we actually needed a more efficient mast. But we only had our 72 and 800 Ultra mast, the Ultra Pros. That's all we had with us. And we kind of thought, oh, well, we'll just roll with that. But then one night I kind of worked out that we might be able to actually sand the woven carbon off the outside of the mast. So we took one mast and we ground the woven carbon off the outside of the mast. And the mast went from 12.5 mils thick to, we got 1.1 mil off. So 11.4 mil thick. So
that mind of yours.
But we basically took a mil off the whole entire mast, top to bottom. Wet sanded all the way through. It actually reduced some chord and some thickness, and the guys tested it out, and it was way better for up and overs and getting through. So made a big difference for that. So because it worked so well, we had to do the mast for all the other riders. So we had to do, I don't know, like 15, 20 masts. So we used Frank from Foil Boards. He did a lot of the nasty grinding work in his sanding bay, and we ground all the outside off and wet sanded them all through. Now, he had done just as a board for himself, and he had sanded the AWSI logo off and resprayed it in gold, and everyone was asking about the gold logo. So we thought, oh, well, we have to spray the logo again. Let's do it with a gold logo. So we rebuilt it with a gold logo, and that's what everybody raced with, the sanded out mast. So this is basically a redesigned mast where we've absolutely minimized the chord and minimized the thickness. This is only 11 mil through the bottom here. And we did the gold logo in recognition of that whole race series. So yeah, finally good to get that out there. And this is ideally for downwinding with the new tempo. It's kind of a package. I think I was trying to explain, you know, with the big wing, that you need that big mast to support it. Like typically in the old days, you just bought an 800 mast, if that was the mast length you chose, and stuck whatever wing you wanted on it. And I'm saying it's now time to think about how heavy you are, what you're planning to do with that mast, what wing you're going to be using, and buying the appropriate mast and fuselage setup to work with that. So this is absolute minimum drag, minimum thickness, but it's really only for, say, less than 90 kgs, riding the tempo range of wings. It's not for dock start with big wings.
So, all right, fair enough.
Pretty cool.
Beautiful
new
looking.
mast.
Yeah, I like that logo too.
Yeah.
I mean, not the logo, but just the gold on it.